Hi guys, what is going on, and welcome back to another video on Conqueror's Blade. So we are back with some more Azap action. Obviously, if you watched my earlier video on them, I sort of did a video when, not long after I got them unlocked, I threw sort of a ton of unit experience cards at them, got them to like 13 or something I think I was in that video, and been enjoying them quite a lot in my initial battles. Well, I basically carried on playing them, got them to their max level, just to kind of see how they're getting on, and I wanted to do a follow-up video now I've got the max level, kind of see what the differences are, see how they perform now they're kind of at their maximum potential. So, well, I might as well start off with Doctrine since we're on this page. Obviously, in addition, we've basically got the on-watch, that's the main real change. Reduces on-watch cooldown by 4 seconds. You know, arguably it's not massive, but still, 4-second cooldown reduction is quite significant and well worth putting on. I think it's one of the doctrines that is worth using in the seasonal stuff. Rest of the doctrines, as before, it's just the classic sword doctrine stuff: range damage reduction, increased block chance, and slashing damage and slashing AP, because that's what predominantly they're doing. Let's go and have a quick look at the main stats. One of the main things that surprises me about this unit is how many hit points they get. You know, just almost to 11,000 hit points, which is really quite a lot, considering they're getting 600 slashing defense. You know, 470 on the piercing is a bit on the lower side, but it's still not bad, and that 600 slashing means they fare fairly decently in melee combat. And once you combine that with their parry, wherever it's gone, lost it. Never. You think I'd have found my way around these menus by now. Once you compare that with the counter strike, it makes them really quite a hard unit to kill, because they have the health, they have decent slashing defense, and they have an ability to basically counter your unit's attacks, which means it makes it very hard to land any significant damage on them. Obviously, since we last played them, rest of the veterancy line, basically counter-strike duration. Unit may initiate counter-strike when being attacked. Just for clarification, that doesn't mean it's going to turn this ability on. I think that means they just basically, when not in counter-strike mode, they have a chance of effectively using a counter-strike. They basically have a random chance of parrying enemy attacks. But it doesn't specify what that percentage chance is. And yeah, pretty hard to really quantify that, other than it's probably not a bad thing. Other than that, we also get a little bit of slashing AP damage increase, which is kind of nice to have, because that puts their slashing armor penetration solid 1400 now, which kind of means they're going to be a little bit more effective against enemy heroes, and also going to be a little bit more effective against sort of those mid to heavy armor units, which is kind of nice as well. And that's really, from sort of a stat point of view, most of what there is to say on them, other than they have their nice base movement speed, 5.5. They feel like they move around quickly. It's a 28 stack unit, and it's only 230 leadership. Certainly one you're going to be wanting to get into your roster. So anyway, let's hop into a battle with them now, kind of see how we get on, and yeah, see if we can cut down some enemies with our Azaps. So we have loaded into the siege battle, and I have basically been noticing at this point that the enemy was focusing quite a lot of artillery fire on the little section of wall that's, you know, destroyable. And so I pushed myself down, and I'm keeping a bit of an eye on it on the minimap. And I kind of wanted to get myself in position so that I can be ready to engage what comes in, because I thought it was more likely just to be 1 or 2 units, quite a good target for the Azaps. So I don't want to actually push too close to the wall, because I don't want to make the enemy know that I'm here. I want them to basically come in so that I can flank and kill them. I don't want to just scare them off by standing next to the wall, because I want to kill them, not just drive them away. But anyway, long story short, they come straight in. And as you'll soon learn, this match is a bit of a farming convention with the amount of serfs and stuff that we get. It gets a bit ridiculous. But first unit of serfs we've got today. Chasing this poleaxe, he was coming. I couldn't decide which way he was going. So we do some slightly mean things, just throw him back into the unit in the middle of the Azaps. Since I know the enemy unit was dead, just go on with the counter strikes just to get this like damage increase. Basically kill him and his unit. Okay. Nothing particularly great there, but it was an interesting start. So yeah, as I was saying, there's quite a few peasants and other assorted units in this battle, but there are a few higher tier units mingled in there, so there's some interesting stuff still going on. So I noticed we'd now got another guy coming in and pushing himself round. I'm trying to think about trying to get myself pushed in, and ooh, immediately regret this, and a dual blade turns up. What a disaster! And get myself killed. Like an absolute noob. Did not see that dual blade at all. Really not particularly aware. Thankfully I did manage to get my counter strikes on before I died. before I died, English Evo, because obviously I have no control over the unit. And all I do now is I pull the unit back to the guy, go towards a supply point. Although, as they were just killing the rest of the serfs, I did just tap V again to get them to continue to attack there. But in effect, I'm trying to get them to pull back. But then, they're retreating by this point anyway, so it's not really a problem. But I'm waiting now for the respawn. I was annoyed at that death, and I didn't feel like I'd really made use of my Azaps very well. That was such a silly way to get myself killed, charging in hero alone, and falling victim to that sort of little mini ambush. So, I'm now pulling myself back with the same unit, because we didn't actually really take any losses at all. Still a full 28 stack unit of Azaps. So, let's get back in and try and find ourselves some more targets. Obviously, they're not through the main gate yet on the A points. They've really been pushing that side little corridor. So I'm just basically looking for opportunities coming back to the same spot that I was fighting, because they were pushing that side little wall breach. So I was kind of curious to see if they were going to push there. It doesn't really look like there was a great deal going on either. So I'm just sort of milling around taking a look. Looks like there's a little bit of fighting going on over there. I was initially a bit nervous because it didn't look like we've got too much allied stuff here. Although we have got some halberdier sergeants here, so yeah, maybe. Bringing up the Azaps. A bit of a support. We've got a little bit of momentum going against them now. We do get hit by those trebs, which I noticed, so just keep the unit a little bit lower down the stairs, because obviously you don't want to get killed by them. But really that treb prevents us from getting stuck in and really getting anything. But it was the right call. I mean, to go up, I would have just got hit by that treb and just take unit losses unnecessarily. But next, I am noticing there's a few guys sort of pushing through the other wall breach on this map, you know, from the other side. So I'm thinking, yeah, okay, let's go and have a little nosy round here. This poor musket, you know, a little bit unfortunate to have rounded the corner at such a time. But a nice little unit of serfs here. Seemed like a willing target. I gave it a little bit of time before the unit come in, and I just smacked the on watch because I was just going for maximum damage. Didn't seem a lot of point in going for the counter strikes. And we're coming down. It looks like some spear sergeants have been pushing in here, but to be honest, they'd already been pretty well overwhelmed by the team before it even turned up, so not really a lot for me to do there. But A point still secure, and we're 80 or 90 kills. We're pushing around. I'm just trying to clear stuff up at this point. Getting a few little kills here and there, some little iron caps here, but again, only really just turning up as the unit is already dying. We're not really dealing a lot on our own, but it does get better, I assure you. So, pushing on down. Enemy Kriegs. Okay, interesting unit. Again, though, pretty well just overwhelmed by heroes as soon as we get there. Not quite sure what the Krieg player was thinking. I guess he was just trying to make it to the supply, but the supply is now back in our own hands and we secured. Still got a full stack of Azaps and still on the hunt for some kills. I still felt slightly aggrieved the way I died so badly earlier on. Okay, a little bit more stuff here now. Imperial spear shields, a little bit of some higher tier stuff as well. We do have some friendly support though. I'm trying to get the unit to form up because I wanted to get a nice charge in. We get ourselves formed up. Random enemy more kill. Unit slams in. Get a good few kills there with the charge. Because we'd broken that one side of the shield wall, the charge then seemed to hit in that gap and actually did quite a chunk of damage. It's one thing I found about them is their charge actually isn't that too bad. It does quite a lot of damage. A lot of sort of units like this, they do have a charge, but the charge tends not to be all that effective. But yeah, no, actually quite impressed. So I was umming and ahhing a little bit here what I wanted to do. I was just getting the unit formed up because I wanted to get round behind. And here comes sort of the rear attack. As we come in behind basically this massive unit of javelins. Our charge is off cooldown. Get myself thrown in with my hero. In come the Azaps. You see the sort of kills we get there? Maybe got 6 or 7 kills on the charge. And we go straight on with the counter strikes. Finishing off the stuff here, and now we're starting to push them up the ladder. The staircase even, as we're trying to clear out these Imperials. So far no real damage fighting these Imperial Javelins. I think they've lost their hero, so they can't actually Javelin strike us. Now we've got more of a pike unit coming down. What is that, domain pikeman maybe? We're on with the on watch. One of them does die, but our kills are really starting to rack up now. Get smacked into by a unit of Conqueror. This is kind of a real test. We do get hit with a bit of friendly support, which helps. Starting to take a little bit of damage. Second man has died, but we really killed quite a lot of that unit of Conqueror. Remember, we were about 100 kills when we started rounding that corner behind, so we just gained about 50 kills in that engagement. So just to show how much damage these guys can realistically do. So I didn't want to engage in that fight directly because I wanted to kind of pull back round a little bit, get myself back on the supply point. Because we'd only lost 2 models, but you know, we're up to 150 kills now, so not looking too bad. And I didn't want to lose any more because a lot of them are pretty low health. And it's a fairly fast unit. You know, that 5.5 on the movement speed is quite decent. It feels fast. Makes them feel like a pretty tasty unit. So we're throwing them on. They're healing up, deciding what we want to do next. Got a real small army of Janissaries here all shooting into this tunnel. Now, I wish I'd got my Azaps with me at the moment. I'm just waiting for them to get that last few little points of heal. I'm watching that healing count because I really want to throw them into this tunnel. So I just sort of lay about me a little bit as my hero. I've called them to me by this point. Come on, Azaps, hurry up. Get a little bit of a cavalry charge. Actually works not too badly for Couturiers. And still waiting for the Azaps. Come on, hoping for them to turn up. Got quite a few heroes still fighting in this tunnel now. And here they come, they're starting to arrive on scene now. Okay, there we go, so we're going for the charge. Oh, I get hit by a cannon from up on the side, really unfortunate. But we're getting to the tunnel, not all that much left. A few enemy spear sergeants, cut them down without really too much problem, tier 4 unit. And then we get pushed out and just straight into all the range, and oh, glorious. All the enemy range absolutely butchered. It shows how quickly these guys do feel a little bit like Conqueror in that sense. When you get out like that, they just butcher so quickly when you get them on that on-watch. And that's why the on-watch cooldown is worth having, because you just see the amount of damage they do there is crazy. I was actually thinking about pushing up there, but I kind of thought better of it. If you look up, there's actually a fair bit of stuff. Although this guy, unfortunately, fell off and made himself a little bit of a willing victim. But yeah, it goes to show how quickly we cut through that enemy range. You know, so fast. So yeah, they do function a lot like a high tier Conqueror. And yeah, certainly feel like a powerful unit when you get stuck in a unit like that. So we've got 2 minutes 40 left in which we need to defend the A point. So far things are looking pretty good. They've not really got a foothold anywhere. Don't really seem to be pushing into any angles. So in all honesty, I'm now sort of thinking about I wonder how many kills we can get. Just trying to look for any more opportunities really, more than anything else. Obviously the enemy's starting to run out of troops a little bit at this point as well. We get some stuff pushing in. What's this? I think it's some squires or some men-at-arms. I can never tell the difference. Get stuck in a little bit with the hero, get stuck in with the Conqueror, go straight on with the counter strikes. And look how quickly the kills build up. And I'm not doing anything at this point. This kills. They just butcher everything. And this is how you just end up with so many kills. Get straight on with the on-watch, pushing them back. And what we've lost now 6 models, and we're just over 240 kills. It's not a bad KD ratio. And yes, there has been an awful lot of serfs in this match. There's also been a lot of spear sergeants, some condos, squires, more condos, spikes. So there's been a real mix of stuff. So they really are quite a high functioning unit in terms of what they can realistically achieve. And we just basically keep pushing on, keep cutting all the rest of these guys down as the fight's going on. I kind of go and I'm thinking about throwing them back on the point at this point. Unfortunately, I didn't get that little glade player who tried to run away. In hindsight, it really wasn't necessary. I think I was maybe just getting a bit too distracted by the time. That was a real kill steal, wasn't it? Well, that's a bit of a scum move, Evo. Throw them back on the point. In reality, I think I should have just kept them out. You know, I could have probably got a few more kills fighting to the sort of bitter end with them and pushing out the main gateway. But still, I go and throw them back on that point for that last little bit of heal. I think I realised at this point, that's why I've called them back to me. That there's not really a lot left. Poor now Candace just get completely overwhelmed, and yeah, it just really turned into the sort of a bit of a role reversal by the end of this siege match when we've basically become the attackers now. We're trying to drive them out of the land, so we just basically start pushing down the siege tower, start just going completely hammering and trying to find anything we can to kill. I'm thinking, come on, Azaps, we need more kills, and we just basically go pushing into everything. See what we can find. Just cut back these domain spearmen. Even friendly cav is out there. It's just so brutal at this point. And yeah, basically just going around killing everything around we can. 17 seconds left, and there's not really a lot to it other than just killing stuff. So how have we found the Azaps? Yeah, I really am a big fan. I think they're a really nice unit. They are quite tanky. That's probably what surprised me the most. That almost 11,000 hit points is really, really quite nice to have. And I think when you combine that with fairly decent slashing and that counter strike, that makes them a really tanky unit, really hard to kill. And yeah, they feel like a tier 4 Condottieri, a unit that is going to be well worth unlocking. Yeah, can't recommend them enough. Make sure you unlock the Azaps. Anyway, that's all I've got time for today. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Of course, subscribe to the channel for a load more Conqueror's Blade content. And thanks for watching, guys. I shall see you all on the next video.